So we appreciate you watching the first video all the way through, and I hope you grabbed a lot of valuable information from it. Now you're going to see on this screen, on the last, you're going to see what we have here is we have a whole research that we're doing on local citations. You remember in the last video we talked about citations. Citations, the name, address, and phone number. And Google looks like you're an authority in the industry if you have the most citations. Each time you're on listed name, address, and phone number on some of these directory sites, it counts as one vote. So the more votes, the better. So what we use a tool that's called WhiteSpark. And what WhiteSpark allows us to do is to reverse engineer what everyone else is doing. So you can see I searched for HVAC in Santa Rosa, and I came up with these top 7 companies. We have the number of citations, and on top of that, we can also go to the source, and we can see the actual citations. So these are all different directory sites that this company is listed on. And of course, we can go out and we can try and get listed on the same ones. And you'll notice it's not necessarily the people that have the most citations are on the top, because some of the citations have higher domain authority. And that's the other thing that we can do, is we can search for it by domain authority. See, these citations have much more authority than other citations. You see these very big ones like Better Business Bureau, Manta, Merchant Circle, Super Pages, etc. These are the highest ranking citations. But basically, because of this tool WhiteSpark, we're allowed to go in there and we can reverse engineer and get the citations. One thing that's very important to do is to make the citations precise and exact. When we say name, address, and phone number, it should match exactly what's on your Google Plus page. In other words, if you say 14 Main Street, Suite 11, it should be Suite 11 every time you write a citation, not number 11, or not STE 11, unless you've got it written that way. In other words, it should match exactly the way it is on your Google Plus page. So, you don't want to have different phone numbers, you don't want to have different addresses, you want this to be as uniform as possible, because again, we're dealing with a computer, we're dealing with an algorithm that's searching these out, so it really does have to be precise. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is call tracking. It's very important to be on call tracking because it allows you to really keep track of how successful your campaign is being. And what call tracking does is it's kind of like having a secretary that you can monitor. In fact, call tracking lets you know how many calls came from your campaign. It also lets you know how long the calls were, and you can even record these calls. This is actually pretty important because sometimes we found out, well, we were getting a lot of calls from our campaign, but the problem was the secretary or the person answering the phone was rude to the customers or didn't know how to take the customers to the next step to getting an appointment or whatever. So that's really where the focus of that business needed to be, was to really train the people answering the phone to a much higher degree. So it's basically, we use this company called CallFire. It's basically about $3 a month to get this number, and they'll give you all these details. In addition, they're going to bill you 5 cents per minute. So if someone calls you for 3 minutes, you'll be billed 15 cents. So it's very reasonable. So it's just an amazing thing to have this call tracking, because if you can't quantify and know what's happening, you're not going to know what to do with your, to keep your campaign going. So that's basically it for today's video. This is a very short video, but we want you to get ready for the last video, because we're going to show you how to reverse engineer backlinks. And this is very important. In fact, we're going to go and show you how you can find the backlinks of your competitors. And the same way that we're reverse engineering citations, we can also reverse engineer backlinks. Now, many of you may not know what a backlink is. Some of you do know what a backlink is. Basically, a backlink is when another site links to your website. And so Google gives, and again, as in a citation, it depends how the domain authority of that referring site. But we're going to talk about that and more in this last step. And this is really going to be putting it all together. So you really don't want to miss the next video where we reverse engineer backlinks. It's going to be the final piece of the puzzle to get ranked on Google page 1 in the 7-pack. So, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video, and we're getting very close to putting this all together so that we can get you on page 1 of Google in the 7-pack.